Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We've got two bits of news today. We've got an update on The Flash, because of course, that is now recording in the UK, the good old UK, good old Blighty. And secondly, we've got an update on the Green Lantern HBO Max series. So, two updates, nothing too major, nothing too crazy for you today. Of course, with things all askew across the world, we're now finally seeing productions start to kick off again, and hopefully this will be the first of many, many updates on a lot of movies as Hollywood and the movie industry in general starts to kick off again. So those are the two updates. Both articles that I'm running off today will be linked down below in the description box. Two other things linked down below there. One, my second channel. If you're into cars, I have a car channel. Very unusual cars on there. I've got a Datsun 720 with an SR20 DET swap. But the most important thing on that channel is a Nissan Pulsar GTIR. Now, if you're into cars, those two items should probably perk up your ears. So head on over to there. There's a link down below in the description box. Also down there is my Blu-ray. Yes, we are still selling it. The interest is still there. So we've extended the sale date, the limited sale date, basically. So that's linked down below. Grab it while you can. But anyway, let's dive into this. So the Flash set photos take us back to a familiar location, and it's Wayne Manor from Batman 1989. How awesome is that? I think that's really, really cool. I genuinely do. And of course, we've got Michael Keaton returning. That is confirmed now by his agents. Not by him, but by his agents, his agency, whatever you want to call it. So I find that quite surprising, to be honest. I'm intrigued as to why he hasn't come out and said anything. He's very vocal on Twitter normally. But anyway, here you go. So cameras have started rolling on The Flash in England, and it's now been confirmed that the DC Comics adaptation will be taking us back to a familiar location. Now, this isn't confirmed by anyone. It's confirmed by photos. So pretty clear cut, which you'll see in a moment. Now, this was to be expected, but as you can see below, the production has arrived at Burley House in Peterborough, England, the same location that was used for Wayne Manor in Batman 1989. We don't know whether any time is supposed to have passed since the events of Batman Returns, but Bruce Wayne's home clearly hasn't fallen into a state of disrepair. Now that, I would imagine, absolutely time has passed. I'd be surprised if it hasn't, let's be honest, because of course, Michael Keaton's Batman is going to be older. So the concept art revealed during last year's DC fandom pointed to Michael Keaton's Batman being the same age, while other reports have indicated he's set to portray an older Dark Knight. If they de-age Michael Keaton for this film, oof, I think that's a big mistake. I think that's a really big mistake, because you're missing a beat there with all the comic book fans that really like the old Bruce Wayne being that sort of, I guess, grizzled mentor to a future Batman, and that's why Terry McGinnis worked so well. So yeah, a bit of a shame, but you know, whatever. I think de-age him, that's a big mistake. I think it's a big mistake mainly because he is old, and you can't de-age people's ability to run around, and his ability to run around just isn't the same. He won't look the same, so don't de-age him, Warner Brothers, whatever you do. Obviously, that's already been decided, but, you know, I'm just here saying my opinion. Anyway, despite comments from Keaton that he might be unable to reprise the role of Batman due to travel restrictions caused by COVID-19, Warner Brothers was clearly able to get something sorted out, as it's since been confirmed he'll reprise his most iconic role. Now, here's the photos, but that's actually not true. His comments, Michael Keaton's comments, were actually he didn't want to travel. It wasn't that he couldn't travel. You're allowed to travel in and out of England for work purposes. So that was always the case, and you're allowed to be working you're allowed to be working on things which are deemed essential, and film production was deemed essential a long, long time ago in the UK. So this article is actually wrong, factually incorrect. But here you go. Here's the images. I mean, it looks beautiful. It is a beautiful location. And very clear cut there is the Warner Brothers truck. So, I mean, it is there. It is happening. That is what is going down. So, I think it's interesting. Goddamn, please don't de-age him. If you de-age him, that's a big mistake. But hey, look, you know, we're returning to an original place. That's cool. I think it'll be cool to see it back again. I think it adds to that sort of consistency between these new movies that they sort of need here and there, especially if they're going off and doing like a Flashpoint movie. But second piece of news, ladies and gents, second piece of news is, of course, Green Lantern HBO Max series finds its Guy Gardner in American Horror Story star Finn Wittrock. Now, I can actually see him as Guy Gardner, to be honest. It's not someone that I would have pinpointed and gone, yeah, there you go, there's your Guy Gardner. I don't think anyone would have, actually. It's just not something that people would have thought of. But I think this works. I think he could pull that off quite nicely, actually. Just from an aesthetic point of view. Now, he is an Emmy nominee. So from that perspective, I think he could pull it off as well. He's not a bad actor in any way. In any way at all. Now, this article states that Warner Brothers Television has announced this morning that 2 times Primetime Emmy nominee Finn Wittrock for American Horror Story and Ratched has been cast in the lead role of Guy Gardner in HBO Max's upcoming Green Lantern live-action series. He'll be one of the many Green Lanterns to appear in the series, with the streamer describing his character as a hulking mass of masculinity. And, oof, that's going to upset a few people, isn't it? And has rendered in the comics an embodiment of 1980s hyper-patriotism. And yet, Guy is somehow likeable, because all those things are apparently really, really bad. Ugh, they have to just go and ruin it with that last point. Oh, and somehow he's likeable. There's nothing wrong with being masculine. There's nothing wrong with being patriotic. But anyway, whatever. The show, of course, has an official synopsis, and it reads, Green Lantern reinvents the classic DC property through a story spanning decades and galaxies, beginning on Earth 1941 with the very first Green Lantern, secretly gay FBI agent Alan Scott, and 1984 with cocky alpha male Guy Gardner and half-alien Bree Jarta. They'll be joined by a multitude of other Lanterns, from comic book favourites to never-before-seen heroes. Look, I think it'll be good. I don't see an issue with that at all. The Hollywood Reporter notes that casting for Alan Scott is also expected to be announced shortly, so we could probably get that very soon, in fact, but we haven't had it just yet. But we will get it soon. Now, well, yeah, the people behind the show, not that great. Not that great. Berlanti's not that great. He's the guy that's behind a lot of these DC properties on TV. Don't really like him. I mean, he's behind Batwoman, sorry. So he's not that great. But this dude in the role of Guy Gardner, yeah, don't hate it. I think it could be good. So what do you guys think? Bit of DC news for you today. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. If you are new here, please do hit subscribe. Please do hit that like button, and please do share the video. Sharing videos really does actually help it out. But thank you so much, guys. Cheers. Take care.